Most people train for decades and still fall apart when real life demands it. Ancient warriors fought for hours without their bodies giving out. Shaolin monks in their 70s still moved with power and control. You throw your back out carrying groceries at 40. The difference isn't genetics, they understood something about strength that modern fitness has completely forgotten. 5 exercises, no gym, just movements that have built uncommon strength for centuries. The first one looks deceptively simple until you try it. It's called the Hindu squat. Your arms swing forward as you drop, weight shifting onto your toes. Then you explode back up, arms swinging behind you. That's it. The movement is fluid, continuous, and surprisingly demanding. Here's what makes this different from a regular squat. Hindu squats train your body to generate force through rhythm and momentum rather than grinding strength. Your quads, glutes, and calves work together in a coordinated pattern that builds endurance and power. Think about it this way: what builds more real-world endurance? Lifting something heavy once or twice, or moving continuously when your body wants to quit? The second one is what this exercise builds, and that's exactly what Hindu wrestlers needed. Matches lasted for hours. Their legs had to fire repeatedly without fatigue or compensation patterns that lead to injury. That kind of endurance under load is what separates functional strength from gym strength. Here's exactly how to do it. Stand with feet shoulder-width apart, arms at your sides. As you descend, rise onto the balls of your feet while swinging your arms forward. Lower down until your thighs are parallel to the ground. At the bottom, you're up on your toes with arms extended in front. Then drive back up, swinging your arms behind you as your heels return to the floor. That's 1 rep. Keep the movement smooth and rhythmic throughout. Your chest stays upright, don't let your knees cave inward. The arm swing does real work by creating momentum that drives you out of the bottom position. The constant rising onto your toes strengthens your calves and ankles while protecting your knee joints from impact. Your balance improves significantly. Your footwork becomes more agile, and your lower body learns to move as a complete system instead of parts working in isolation. The biggest mistake people make with this one is going too slow. This isn't a tempo squat. The movement should flow naturally, 1 rep into the next without stopping. Start with 3 sets of 20 reps. When that feels manageable, push to 30, then 50. Once you've built that lower body endurance, you need something that builds the same relentless strength in your upper body. That brings us to exercise 2, the Hindu push-up. This isn't a regular push-up, it's a flowing movement that takes you through multiple positions in 1 continuous rep. You start high, sweep down and forward, then press your chest up and reverse back. That's 1 rep. After just a few, you'll understand why wrestlers use this to build upper body endurance that never quit. What makes this valuable is the shoulder mobility and strength it builds at the same time. Most people have shoulders that are either strong or mobile, rarely both. This movement demands both at once. And here's something most people miss. Your wrists also get stronger under load through positions they rarely train. And unlike pressing movements that compress your shoulder joints over time, this builds strength through natural range of motion that keeps joints healthy. That mobility combined with strength is what prevents shoulder injuries when you're tired and form breaks down. The setup is simple. Start in downward dog with your hips high, hands and feet on the ground forming an inverted V. Your hands slightly wider than shoulder width, feet about hip width. Sweep forward and down, bringing your chest close to the ground like diving under a barrier. Your elbows bend and stay close to your body. As you pass through, press your chest up and forward, arching into upward dog. Your hips drop while your chest opens. Then reverse, pressing your hips back up. The power comes from your shoulders, chest, and triceps working through full range of motion. The mistake here is rushing the movement and losing the flow. Each rep should be deliberate and controlled. Your body moves in 1 continuous wave. Start with 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps. Build toward 15, then 20. Now, what if carrying an awkward object could build more real-world strength than any barbell exercise? That's exactly what the bear hug walk does. You grab something heavy and awkward, wrap your arms around it, and walk. Your entire body works to keep the object stable while you move. This trains your body for strength demands that show up in real life. Groceries shift as you walk, kids don't hold still, that couch has no handles. You're constantly dealing with loads that shift and move unpredictably. The bear hug walk prepares you for that. Your forearms build grip strength. Your upper back and lats work to keep the object secure, Your core braces to prevent your spine from folding forward. This forces your stabilizers to work constantly, preventing compensation patterns that lead to back injuries. When your stabilizers are strong, your body doesn't recruit the wrong muscles when you're tired. A farmer's carry builds strength in a straight line. A bear hug walk builds strength that adapts to instability and awkward positioning. That's the kind of strength that shows up when you need it most. Grab a light sandbag, a heavy rock, or any odd-shaped object you can wrap your arms around. Hold it tight against your chest with your arms locked around it. Your core braces to support the weight. Now walk with your chest up and shoulders back throughout. Don't let the weight pull you forward. Your breathing will get heavy as your body learns stability and control under load. If you don't have a sandbag, use a heavy bag of dog food, a medicine ball, or a loaded backpack held in front. Start with 30-second walks, rest, then repeat for 3 to 4 sets. Work up to 60 seconds. After that carries work, you need something that builds coordination and full body tension from a different position. That brings us to exercise 4, the bear crawl. You get on all fours, lift your knees slightly off the ground, and crawl forward, backward, or both. Your entire body stays tight. This builds full body coordination and endurance that most exercises can't touch. Your brain coordinates opposite limbs moving together. Your core braces against rotation. Your shoulders and wrists strengthen under load in ways that protect these joints from injury when real life demands awkward positioning. Most people have strong individual muscles but poor coordination when those muscles need to work together. The bear crawl forces integration. Every part of your body has to communicate or the movement falls apart. That coordination keeps you injury-free when you're tired and form starts to slip. It's the difference between controlled movement and compensation that leads to pulled muscles. To do it right, get on all fours with hands under your shoulders and knees under your hips. Lift your knees about an inch off the ground with your back flat and core braced hard. Move forward by stepping your right hand and left foot simultaneously, then your left hand and right foot. Keep your hips low and back flat throughout the movement. As you crawl, your shoulders stabilize your upper body. Your core prevents rotation, and your legs drive you forward with control. A common mistake is moving too fast and losing position. Keep your movements deliberate and controlled. Start with 20 seconds forward, rest, then try 20 seconds backward, which is harder. 3 to 4 sets of 20 to 30 seconds forward and backward. When that feels manageable, push to 45 seconds, then 60. The final exercise ties everything together. It's the horse stance. This one looks almost too easy until you try it. You sink into a wide squat position and hold. No reps, no movement, just your muscles firing constantly to keep you there. Ancient martial artists use this to build leg strength for holding fighting stances without fatigue. That's the foundation it builds. Here's exactly how to do it. Stand with feet about 2 to 3 times shoulder width apart. Turn your toes slightly out, bend your knees and lower down until your thighs are parallel to the ground or as close as you can get. Your back stays straight, your chest stays up, your knees push outward over your toes as your weight sinks into your heels. Your hands can rest on your thighs or hold out in front. Then you hold for 30 seconds if you're starting out. Your entire lower body is under constant tension with no relief, just sustained contraction. Your quads fire constantly to keep you from collapsing. Your glutes work to maintain hip stability and proper alignment. Your adductors stretch and strengthen at the same time. Your core braces hard to keep your torso upright and stable. And here's what most people don't realize. Your inner thighs are getting stronger in a way that protects your knees and hips during everyday movement and under load. This is strength most people neglect. The kind that prevents injuries when your legs get tired and your knees want to cave inward under load. This exercise trains your muscles to sustain maximum tension without any movement at all. That builds both strength and mental toughness. It's foundational for longevity and keeping your joints healthy as you age. Don't let your knees cave inward. Push them out over your toes. Don't round your back. Keep that chest up and spine neutral. Start with 30-second holds and work towards 60 seconds, then 90. 3 to 4 sets with a minute of rest between holds. Now let's put everything together. Here's your complete routine. Hindu squats, 3 sets of 20 to 50 reps. Hindu push-ups, 3 sets of 8 to 20 reps. Bear hug walks, 3 to 4 sets of 30 to 60 seconds. Bear crawls, 3 to 4 sets of 20 to 60 seconds forward and backward. Horse stance, 3 to 4 sets of 30 to 90 seconds, 3 times per week. That's it, just 25 to 30 minutes. 2 weeks in, your joints feel noticeably better, your body moves easier, stiffness starts to fade. 4 weeks in, you notice your endurance improving. Tasks that used to exhaust you start feeling manageable. You can push through when you used to have to stop. 8 weeks in, your strength shows up when you need it. Not just in controlled environments, but when you're tired, when the load is awkward, when your body wants to compensate. Because ancient training teaches you something modern fitness never can. How to move as one complete unified system instead of isolated parts. How to build strength that protects your joints instead of grinding them down. How to keep moving when your body is fatigued and form wants to break down. That's real strength, the kind that lasts. 5 exercises, no gym, 0 excuses. Share this with someone who's tired of chasing gym trends and wants to build strength that actually lasts.